everybody, and welcome back. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm not doing too bad. I have my ups and downs, but we're not going to get into that. I have been doing a few things, and I want to talk a little bit about that, show you a little bit with what I've done, some stuff that is finished. This, if you can see this, and it's not too, shiny. This guy's called the Doom Slayer. He's from that game, Doom. So, here's the front of him, and here's the back of him. My son had bought a resin figure, just a solid resin figure. He didn't have to put anything together. And he asked me to paint him. And it's been over a year ago. And I've just had so much stuff going on, health issues and stuff, I haven't been able to get to it. Well, his birthday is coming up in October. So I wanted to get, there's this, and then there's two other things that I'll show you that I wanted to get to give him for his birthday. So I can show you, see the picture of this. So you see how he looks. And now here is, I'll get rid of this. Here's the model. It's all painted up. It's finished. Ready to give to him. There's the back. And it has been sealed with dull coat. And I got a little bit of stuff going on here. Different rocks that I found out. They're like white rocks. Almost like crystal rocks I found outside in the backyard. I brought them in. So you can see that. I have a couple skulls here because he's a slayer. And this sword here is like an electrical sword. That's why it's painted the way that it is. If you could see that without too much of a shadow, you can see the white writing in it. This was done with a dry brush. It was painted primed white, and then I used a dry brush. That's supposed to be a magenta red, which it glows red when you use it. It has some kind of electrical power and all that. But here you can see the skull. And there's another one here. And then way in the back there, if you can see the light, you see way in the back, see the skull underneath of that little bushes and plants. And then I used this stuff here that's on the texture with these little plants. Everything I was able to just stick in, and it stuck like glue. I've used this stuff. And this works great for basing. I have two different colors. I have one sandy, and this is just an earth texture from Vallejo. They're not too expensive, and they work absolutely great. So that's what I use. So you're seeing him from the top down, but here's what he looks like. So he came out almost exactly the way that the picture did. It took me a long time to match colors and all that. Do shading as much as I could. So I have this for him. I also have been working, since I finished this, I have been working on these small little, these are Warhammer things. Here is the one, he's the Saffron Skink Star Priest. They're very small. These are, from the Warhammer Age of Sigmar games. And I guess he plays this game online or something like that. So he asked me if I could get any of these little dinosaurs and paint them up. This is a skink, and they have dinosaurs. So I did. And here I'm just starting it now. And you can see this is going to be a lot of work painting those feathers. I have to wet blend and stuff like that. But so far, here's the blue that I've got. You can see the darker blue on the scales and the lighter blue on his skin. And then you can see where the feathers will all have to get painted. And then this will be gold and wood. And feathers on here, feathers here. Jewelry he's got. And you can see how big it is. I mean, it's tiny. There's my little finger. That's how big. He's about as tall as my little finger. So I'm starting to work on him. And I have to, painting this all has to be done with my glasses that I bring down, the magnifying glasses, so that I can see him clear enough. So there's this, and then there is another dinosaur. He's a Cephron. He's a soldier. And I've started him out with the blue. You can see the dark blue on the scales. Underneath, you can see where his belly is a lighter blue. A little bit on his chest. Trying to do some shading in. And then you can see this is going to be a rock with a little skull on there. This has to be gold. He's got a piece on his tail. Is going to be gold. He's got, but you can't see. You might be able to see that right there. There's kind of like a rope that goes around that has to be painted, a rope color. And then he's wearing like an amulet on his chest. That'll be gold. This top thing on the top of his head will be gold. And then this is gold and wood with a little bit of silver in it. And this is his battle, club, sword, whatever you want to call it, And there's gold. You can see, if you can see it, there's a band here around this leg and one around the other leg. All that stuff gets painted gold. And then he has a shield that I don't have with me. He has a shield that goes on that's made out of scales from a dragon. And he's holding on to that shield. And I've painted that as a different color, and that's trimmed in gold too. But you can see how little they are. He's another one. He's only about as tall as my little finger. These are very small. So, it's difficult. The spikes on his back, he's got a cover on them. So they'll be gold. He has like the blue colored spikes, and then things will be gold. And I still have to paint. Some of these spikes will be white with gold tips. Stuff like that. Where he's protecting the end, like his tail. He's got a piece on his tail. He's protecting the end of his tail. So he has decorative. There's a piece that's gold. And then the very end piece is gold where he's protecting his tail. So, and I have to paint the teeth and then inside his mouth. And all that kind of stuff. And they're very small. This is all Age of Sigmar, old Warhammer stuff. Like I could show you. Here's something. This is another one. This is actually a little bit bigger than that. But here's a model. It's called the Harbinger of Decay. And if I turn it over on the back, you can get a little bit better picture. You can see. Now that will be about as big as, the palm of my hand, maybe a little bit bigger. And you paint all this stuff in and you make it look like decay and all that kind of stuff. There's a guy riding a horse. This is what I'm starting to get into. And I don't want to play the game. I just like the models. I think they're very cool. And I have a couple of them. Here's another one. Where you can see, and this guy's pretty big. He's a little bit bigger. He's about 4 inches long, 4 or 5 inches long. And then he's got small guys like that as dinosaurs, but they're trolls or orcs. And they're on top sitting in a basket with stuff, and there's chains, and all kinds of stuff. It's just really cool stuff, I think. So I'm kind of getting into stuff like this. You know, there's other ones that are a whole lot bigger than this. A whole lot bigger. I mean, they're absolutely huge. You know, I could show you real quick one of my favorites. I'll show you two. Here's one of my favorites is this model. And he's pretty big. He's a little bit bigger than a softball, but he's pretty big. You can make him a couple different ways. One with his mouth open, one with his mouth closed. And you can look stuff up on, you know, YouTube. And they have tutorials on how to paint him and different ways, different colors you can do it and all that. And he just, to me, he just looks cool, really cool. And to me, this is like artwork. This is called the Black Coach. This is a foot long. And it has 4 horses, and they're all ghosts, they're all dead. And it has it where, you know, there's partly skeleton with a little bit of skin. There's ghosts all following them. They're all up on top of them following them. There's a sarcophagus that goes inside of it. You can paint that up right here. There's the driver, and he's real small. But, you know, they just have things that I think are really cool. And it'll be fun. They have certain paints that, you know, you paint and make it look this color, contrast paints and stuff like that. So I'm more kind of like trying to get into stuff like that. So, but at this moment, this is what I've started. I've started doing this guy, like I showed you, and this little dinosaur guy who's a soldier. I'll get these done and practice that up. And here's a figure I have, you know, painted this up for my son. And then I do want to still, I almost have, because I've been working in between while waiting for paint to dry on these, I've been working on the Cyclops, which is a build for the Celebration of Life for Chris Cortell. So I know that Jeff from Jeff's Models Garage, I know that he had put up a video saying that that build, that group build, it's over. I don't care if it's over or not. You know, I'm going to finish up what I started, and I'm going to put it up as my version of, you know, the celebration of Chris Cortell's life. And then when I'm done with it, I'm done with it. You know, and then I'll have that. It's almost done. And I'll make a video of that. Then there is the build for Tom White, Rambler 69. I made a video on that. It was probably the last video. I still want to build that car and all that stuff. And I'm still deciding on different ways of painting it. I am going to be trying to use some of these new things. This is SMM, SMS. These are acrylic lacquers, but they're kind of like an Alclad. You know, I have other ones. I have Alclad, and then I have MIG, which kind of took over Alclad, I believe, to do chromes and stuff like that. But this is a paint. See if I can shake it up here. You can get a look at it. Hopefully it picks it up. You can see that paint. Maybe you can see it on the top of the bottle here. You should be able to see that. Hopefully you can. What this is, it's called Mother of Pearl. You put it over a white base, and it looks like mother of pearl. You can see down here at the bottom, if you can see that, if the light's good enough, all the small flecks in it and all that. So I'm going to try giving these, I have the mask and all that stuff, and I have a few airbrushes. I'm going to try giving these a try. It's an acrylic lacquer. It's the same thing as Tamiya paints. They're acrylic lacquers. You know, so that's what these are, although the only thing with difference is these are already thinned. And they have a chrome, and then you can paint over the chrome, you can paint with a clear yellow, and it'll make a brass. I have a fire truck I want to do, and stuff like that, and I want to have that nice shiny brass. So that's pretty much what's been going on, you know. So I have some ideas. I am doing stuff, and I am trying to heal. You know, I'm having problems other than my heart. My heart's been okay. I haven't had any chest pains. My problems are with my knees. I have osteoarthritis in both knees. I have it in my back, and I have it in my right shoulder. And I've already had cortisone shots in my legs. I have a four-wheeled walker with the handbrakes. I don't have to use it all the time, but the doctor gave me a prescription for it, and I got it, and I just bought it. It wasn't that expensive. I bought it myself. You know, I found a good deal. My neighbor took me down to where a retirement community is, and they have this thrift store there, and I was able to find one that's like almost brand new for cheap. So I have that. I don't always have to use it, but I have that, and I'm getting ready to go in, and they're going to be discussing with me about nerve therapy, where they give you a shot in the nerve, and it's supposed to numb the nerve so that it gets rid of your pain so you can walk. I've already had the cortisone. That works, but doesn't work quite as well as I would like. So I can't, it's hard to move around. You know, and anybody who has arthritis knows it's very painful, especially in your knees. So there's that's going on. So, but I am doing this. I'm also getting back into playing my guitars, and I want to put some things up on my other channel if anybody's interested in that. So, and I have a lot of stuff that I want to paint. You know, it's like some of those models I showed you are this size. And these are a few things, like this is a zombie kind of guy, you know. And they come, this is from a company called WizKids. They're not very expensive. And if you want to get into figures and learning how to shade and all that kind of stuff, you can get stuff like this. And this will teach you how to paint like the leather cloth, the leather belt, skin. And this is decayed skin. You know, wood with the wrappings around the wood. And it's like, what? It's like $15. You know, and that's not the only one. There's quite a few. You know, I mean, I have here is a skeleton warrior. So he's pretty cool too. And so it's stuff like that, and they're pretty big. You figure there's my hand. So he's a pretty good size. This is more of the size that I like to work on. Stuff about this size. And some of that other stuff that I showed you are about this size or bigger. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. I've been watching some of you guys' videos. Nobody's really been putting up a whole lot. I guess because it's summer, people are doing things and all that, and that's fine. Come wintertime, I'm sure we'll start to see a lot of stuff and all that. So that's what's going on. I don't know when I'll make another video. I hope you watch this till the end. And I hope everybody's doing well. I did talk to Charlie Hellman. He's hanging in there. He's doing well. He's healing. He's getting better every day. Sometimes I have conversations with him that'll last almost 2 hours. So, you know, that's what's going on. So, all right, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you at another time. I will come back, and when these are finished, I'll show them to you. And I'm not worried about my son seeing the video, because my son doesn't watch my videos. He doesn't watch the model building videos and all that stuff. He's too busy, and then he's doing other stuff, and he wants me to paint these and have them so he can sit them around as like things to have, but he's not interested on how I paint them and what's going on and all that. All he wants me to do is paint it and then give it to him, you know. So that's what's up with that, which that's okay. It gives me something, and these little things here, they're not expensive, you know. They got $10, you know, and you got to put it together and all that. So I even had to put it together with the magnifying glass. That's how small these bastards are. But they're fun, they're cool, and it's something different. I'm so sick and tired of doing model cars, you know, and model airplanes. Not that I've done a lot of airplanes. I'm sick of those kind of models. I want to do these figures, because to me, if I'm going to spend the time doing something, I want to do it as art, do more artistic stuff. So, all right, thanks for watching. You have a good rest of your week. All right, bye-bye.